Hello, 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 beautiful unicorns. Yana Kasperczak coming into your live from Ontario, Canada, as your certified professional performance and spiritual awakening core energy coach. It has been my soul's purpose to help women, to help you get your shit together so you can break free from that mental prison you find yourself in and build a life, a business, and or a career that you are obsessed with. And on Mondays, the way that I love helping women, spiritual women like yourself, to tap in and uncover that obsession that you're looking for when it comes to your life, your business, or your career is by doing card readings, because cards are a powerful tool that we can use as spiritual women that will help in guiding us of what's to come this week, what to focus on more. And sometimes I do 3 card reading where you get to, it's about the past, the present, and the future, where you get to see where you have been, where you are, and where you're going. So yeah, now that I said that, now I'm feeling maybe it's going to be a 3 card reading today instead of a 1 card reading, so you can see your past, your present, and your future. Hey Janelle, how are you doing, beautiful? Happy Monday to you as well. So we each have different tools that can help us on our spiritual journeys. Card reading is one tool, but I'd love to hear what tools that you use as well, whether it's every day or every week, that help you to tap into you, that help you to see your journey and your life and your path with clarity and with ease, and perhaps helps you to focus and tap into determination with achieving the things that you want and meant to achieve. Card number 1, upside down. So this is your past. Cauldron, Containment. I feel like you have held in way too much. And it's like containment makes me think of a lot of things that you have been through, that you're going through, and instead of dealing with them, you're suppressing them and avoiding them. And instead of talking about the things that you really want to talk about, you tiptoe around it and you say things that you want to say in a way that's not clear, and therefore the message gets lost in translation. And the cauldron itself, this is one of the tools that you need when it comes to magic spells, which means that if you're not casting the spell in the way that you're meant to, and you're using the words, which are tools, that are the wrong ones, you're going to have the outcome of the spell that you don't want. When it comes to magic, when it comes to you casting a spell, words are one of the most important tools that you're meant to use, and be really clear of the words that you're using, because each word is a magic spell. And if you are using the wrong words and the energy that you're bringing in, then you're not going to have the spell turn out in the way that you want it to turn out. That's what I'll say with the past. But remember, past affects our present and can affect our future. Does not determine it, but it can affect our future if we don't do anything about it. So keep that in mind as we go forward and pull out the present card. Present card is moon cycles. You as a woman, you go through all four cycles every single month. Now on top of that, the moon affects your cycles as well. Not only do you go through all the hormonal, emotional cycles every single month, kind of like the seasons, the 4 seasons, where the moon is on any given month affects your cycle as well. And when it comes to the sun, which is not talked about nearly enough, you need vitamin D. You need to get out in the sun every single day without fail. Janelle says meditation and prayers would what you use. Awesome. I love those as well. Meditation, especially with prayer, it's not necessarily prayer. For me, it's more the affirmation statements. It's mantras, which in many aspects, it's the same or similar to prayers. It's just a different word for it. And future. Future is Lugnasach. I'll show you the word. I butchered by pronouncing it, but that's what you get. And prosperity. So that's what's coming. Let me put these cards down because we don't need them anymore. So there's the card. That's the word on top. I mean, you can message me and tell me how you would pronounce it, but that was my attempt for pronouncing it is Lugnasach. Okay. And prosperity. Prosperity is gonna be the outcome of you doing the hard work, of you doing what you do not want to do, of you working on the stories that are holding you back, that are holding you hostage, that are holding you in your mental prison, and not allowing you to live the life that you dream and desire of living, the one that you are worthy of living, the one that you cannot put off until tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised. You are meant to do the things that you want to do that align with the true, authentic you. But chances are, just like majority of the world, you don't know who you truly are. So that's where you start. You start with knowing and understanding who you are in all aspects and all areas of life, what makes you you, what makes you human, and live in accordance to your truth and your authenticity for many different reasons. But to me, the biggest one has been the moment that I understood what the graveyard was, and that the graveyard is the most richest place on earth. This is where you will find all the dreams, all the uncreated creations, all the unwritten books. This is where you will find it. You will find, it's not the jewelry and the gold and the things that people are buried with. It's all the things that made them, all their gifts, all their dreams, all their aspirations, all the things that made them unique, that would have been an amazing contribution to the world. And in some ways, I would say it's almost like a betrayal to our own existence if we don't live life the way that we want to, the way that we see and understand that we're meant to live life. And card readings are a powerful tool, at least for me. And those of you who watch this card readings that I do every Monday here in the group, and Heal the Unicorn, Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth for Women, that I use as a tool that I share with each and every one of you, that reminds me of who I am and my purpose and my dreams, my goals, and what fulfills me, and living in accordance to that, to me, and making sure that everything that I do and everything that I don't do is in alignment with me. The simplest way I would put it, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. It's not for you. Feels good and great, yes. But at the same time, recognizing the difference between what doesn't feel good because it's not for you, and what doesn't feel good because you're simply scared of it, and there's so much in it for you that you're terrified and petrified that you don't want to do it, and you will find all the excuses under the moon not to do it, because by doing it you'll actually end up living and becoming that version of you that you dream and desire of. So knowing the difference is going to be key. and not using it doesn't feel good, it's too scary, too uncomfortable, as one of the excuses to not do it. So now let's go into the first one, the Cauldron. I'll bring it closer so you can see the card. So the Cauldron, Containment. And it's alphabetical, so it makes it so much easier to find these, I'll call it the scripture of the card. The description of the card. Hubble bubbles, not the way. Simmer softly, await the day. Keep within that which you know. Time will come for you to show. This magic is worked with harm to none, so mote it be, there it is done. So the way that I would describe this part is what it's also saying is that each and every one of you has your dreams, your goals, your desires, the things that you want to do, the things that perhaps you're already working on doing. And what comes to mind is privacy. Privacy is so freaking powerful that you have no idea how powerful it is yet. By you talking about what you want to do, talking about your dreams, goals, and desires, you're leaking energy. And the reason why you're leaking energy is because on a subconscious level, what happens is that when you talk about this thing that you want to do, you already subconsciously feel that you have already achieved it, because what you're after is not the thing itself. It's what the thing that you are after, the emotional state, the feelings that it will bring you, and how you will feel when you achieve it, when you reach it. So by you talking about what it is that you are doing and that you're trying to reach, you're less likely to reach it, because you have subconsciously and consciously have already tapped in to achieving it through your feelings and emotions. You means that when you're talking about it, you already feel great and amazing, as if you have already achieved it, so therefore not achieving it. But you can tap into that the same feelings and emotions through visualization, which is an incredibly powerful tool that helps you to practice achieving that goal, that thing that you want, and bring you closer to it without leaking that energy externally outside of you and sharing it with someone. And I've learned that the hard way, because I would be so excited, so motivated, but I'd be talking about things, talking, but not actually doing the thing. So knowing what I know, learned what I've learned, I stopped talking about things. And instead, I started doing them. It's similar to whether it's you or someone in your life apologizing. When you apologize for something more than once, you're not really sorry. They're not really sorry, because they're just sorry you feel that way, but they're not sorry. But if they really mean they're sorry, they will change whatever it is that they're apologizing for. And they would not be apologizing for it anymore, because they would be showing you. They would be living that apology. Same concept when it comes to our goals and dreams. You want to achieve those goals, those dreams, you must first realize that language is important, and you're not going to achieve those goals and dreams. You're not. You never actually achieve your goals and dreams. You grow into them. You become a different version of you, the one that is that goal, that is that dream. And what holds you back is you, but most importantly, that fear of who you will become when you get there. We'll be happy when? Is because you're fearful of the when, of who you will be when the when comes. Make sense? Okay, I hope it does. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the first card, of your past, which means that in the past, you're probably talking a lot and sharing your plans, your goals, your dreams and ideas with everyone. I want you to stop doing that. And if you're going to share with someone who's not invested in you reaching them in the ways that you think that they are. Most people that you share your golden dreams with, they don't care. And that's one thing that I've learned, that the people that actually cared about my goals and my dreams were the coaches that I worked with. And in some level, my husband, but at the same time, I also recognized by me talking and feeling excited and expressing, I was losing the momentum. But by sharing those things with my coach, she would check me in ways of, okay, that's great. Enough dreaming, Yana. Now action, action, action. Because actions speak louder than words. How are you going to get there? How are you going to have it? And then doing the check-ins. And that's the investment that to me was so worthwhile. Now, with this card, the Cauldron, Containment. I'll put it this way so you can look at the pretty card while I look down at the pretty book, the pretty words. Whilst you are bubbling over with anticipation to share with the world, you are advised to keep a lid on things. Just like I was saying. For the first time to come out is not yet right. That which you hold within is to be contained for a while longer. So for now, just allow all that you know and feel to simmer gently. Boiling over will not serve you, and you just may get might get your fingers burnt. You might just get hurt in the process. Good morning, Rebecca. How are you doing, beautiful? How was your weekend? Instead, Cauldron asks that you use this as a time for nurturing and preparation. Go within, work on what's coming up, and prepare for what's about to come, because there's going to be amazing things coming to you. The feast is promised, although newly acquired ingredients that have not yet presented to you need to first be stirred into the pot. And those of you who are hopping on now, I was talking about this card before reading, and a lot of the things I mentioned will make sense for what I'm reading. And this is actually the first time I came across this card, so I have not read it. And okay, so you can watch the beginning afterwards, and this card reading, and then I have two more cards here. All of them will make sense to you, because this is from the past, and the past is connected to the present, and it's also connected to the future, but it does not determine the future. Only when you add these fresh additions will you be ready. So what comes to mind is sometimes we come in, we feel like we know everything and there's nothing else that we can learn. And I personally will say I'm guilty of this as well. It's like, oh, I don't need to learn anything. I'm already good. I know everything I need to know. Now is just time for applying it and for sharing it. But new information adds so much value that we simply can't understand until we learn that new information and we connect the dots to the things that we wouldn't be able to connect the dots with or to if we didn't expose ourselves to this new information. Be patient, for the signal to move forward will appear in good time. Only then, my dear, can you serve up that which the world will be ready and willing to accept. And I would add that it's you who must be ready and willing to accept yourself as your true, authentic self, and learn to care very little to no care about what anybody else says or thinks, with just a few, maybe less than a handful of people that you do care about their opinions, and not everyone and anyone, limiting it to just a few, because we're human beings. This is part of what makes us human, caring and being social creatures and feeling accepted, but we've just lost now we're exposed to so many more people than we are meant to, or what we were meant to be exposed, especially if you are on social media. That prior to social media, prior to the phones, it was just your family and your friends and your, family that's not so close, and that's it. Whereas now, unlimited, billions and billions of people. And this is where a lot of our fears of judgment just have been amplified. And it becomes an incredible opportunity for each and every one of us to get this part of us, of our human existence, under control and tame that beast that we have within ourselves. So, which is foresight. There is important information missing. Someone is hiding something from you. Don't make your move until you have all the details. Know what you're getting yourself into, in other words. And harness and nurture your natural gifts. If you don't know what your gifts are, that's where you start. Learn and understand what you're good at, what your gifts are, what you can offer yourself into the world that no one else can in the way that you would. The world is not ready for what you have to offer. Not yet. It's getting ready. It's you that needs to get ready, that needs to put in the time, the energy, and the effort, and working and healing yourself, and then you will be ready to offer the world yourself. And when you are ready, the world is ready. If you're not ready, the world is not ready, because the world is really you. It's within you. Wait until the time is right. Wait until you feel ready, until you feel that the time is right. Cauldron revealed. The cauldron represents the sacred womb of the mother goddess. It is used as a ritual vessel for the element of water, brewing potions, and for spell casting. Papers of regret, letters to the ancestors, and burnt offerings are placed within the cauldron in ritual and ceremony. Transformation, rebirth, fertility, and femininity flow from the western quarter. And quite a few things that I mentioned in the beginning of the video tap into this part as well. So that was the past. Now, the present. Moon cycles. I'll put it here as well. And as I find the card, we skip through most of the M's. Moon cycles. Here we go. And I did already give a brief intuitive description on each and every card in the beginning, so that way as you go back to listen to the beginning, a lot of these things will make sense as well as I'm doing the actual reading. Moon cycles. Drink of the moon and this fine night with loving heart and open sight, aware of the cynical ways, be at one with every phase. This magic is worked with harm to none, so mote it be. There it is done. You're going to go through different phases, and you're just meant to be present and allow each phase to be here without being a bully to yourself. Accept yourself and meet yourself where you are. Allow yourself to go through the process. Primarily, it's going to be an emotional one. And then, only then, can you move on to the next one. Good morning, or good afternoon, Kimberly. Yes, you're right. Happy full moon to you as well, beautiful. Okay, so Rebecca says full moon in Cancer. I'm Cancer and started my cycle again on the full moon 7 months in a row. I get extremely fatigued. Last night was the most fatigue I've ever felt yet. Very powerful. I am not a moon expert, but I would definitely recommend going down that rabbit hole, because there's something in there for you. If you're fatigued, personally, what comes up is hormones. there's something that is throwing your hormones out of balance. Because if you're starting your moon, your personal cycle on the full moon, understanding the connection between, and when you start your cycle, it's a winter season as well, where you're meant to be releasing and stepping into the new and starting something new so that way it can fully bloom in the spring. Essentially, you're figuring out what seeds you're going to be planting, and you start planting them at the end of the winter season so that way they can bloom and flourish in the spring, and some will be blooming and flourishing in the summer. Understanding where you are and what's going to be the next steps for you. Hey Gemini. Gemini says that she started her cycle today as well. Ooh, happy cycle day. I just finished mine actually on Friday. If we spend more time together, we'll all sink in, is what I hear. But yet my daughter and I, we still haven't synced in. We're about 2 weeks apart with our cycle. So, in other words, I don't know how true that is either. We all have our own internal cycle and the 4 seasons that we go through each and every month on our own. Rebecca says, Kimberly says I'm old. No, you're not. We're never old. We're young. We're old children of the universe. So we're all babies no matter how old we are. Rebecca says, you reap what you sow. So true. Has been a phase in my mind the last couple of days. So, what are you sowing that you're going to be reaping later? What are you planting that you continue to water and nurture and take care of, that you're going to be harvesting later? And it's important to pay attention to the weeds that we plant, that we water and nurture. Most of it happens unconsciously. So if you don't want to reap or harvest the things that you don't want to, that don't align with you, then what are you going to do about it? Okay, moon cycles. After an arduous journey, moon appears to indicate that you are coming to the end of a phase. Cycles begin and end, begin again, but in a new form. Patterns reap until the lessons have been fully understood and learned. As you step into the new phase, be expectant and full of anticipation, for you will not wish to go over old ground again. You don't want to go back to your old ways. You don't want to go back to your old habits. You don't want to go back to leaking that energy by sharing too much and oversharing too much, and only sharing it with those, as I mentioned earlier, who are invested in your growth and evolution and are dedicated to you, for you. So that, because this is the past, right? This is the old ways, and you don't want to go there. You want to cast the magic spells that are in alignment and with you and are very clear, and it will actually manifest themselves in the way that you cast them, and being aware of what you're casting with words and with your energy and with your intention. Just because you say you're going to do something, your intention might not be to actually do it. So check your intentions. New opportunities await, so be vigilant. And what are those new opportunities that are awaiting you? Outcomes lie in your hands, which means whatever the outcome is, the choice is yours. It's in your hands. No one can do anything for you, nor would you want them to. Call down the moon as she embraces you in her soft, luminous glow. Bathe under the pure feminine and restorative energy she immerses you with. Recharge your working crystals under the full presence and Go sky-clad in honor of the triple goddess who watches over you as the moon rules your emotions. You have crystals, you have stones, you have bracelets. You gotta put them out during full moon, which is now, on your windowsill where the moon can actually see them. Even in your car, if you have any crystals in there, make sure the moon can actually recharge them as well. You can even put water out, so you get moon water and charge the water with the moon energy. Never forget that she also lives within you as you work in conjunction with her phases, honoring at all times your new, full, and dark aspects of Maiden, Mother, and Crone, which is foresight. Open up to your receptive feminine side. Tap into your feminine. Allow her to be. Your emotions are ruled by the moon phases. Harness the moon's energy and understand her phases for your magical work. Work in conjunction with the triple goddess. Now, with what you were saying, Rebecca, feeling so tired when you start your cycle, because chances are you have a lot on your plate and you're doing a lot. But we're also meant to cherish our cycles and work with our cycles and not against them. When you start your cycle, you're meant to spend more time being and not doing. And you probably have a lot of things on your plate that you are doing, which means that you're going to feel out of balance and you're going to feel tired and exhausted. You're meant to go within and be and understand what's happening. And then take those seeds of understanding and plant them. And then in the spring, this is where you'll spend more time doing than being. Moon revealed. Ancient civilization used the moon to scry with and to predict weather patterns. Your own eternal weather as well, by the way. The oceans of the world, cycles of nature, emotions, birds, and animals are all affected by the moon. From the new moon waxing to the full moon to the waning moon, plants and herbs as well as cast spelling are all affected by and worked with each lunar phase. These two go hand in hand. Okay, now let's move on to the last one. I'm not gonna attempt to pronounce the top word. You go right ahead and read it for yourselves. Okay, fine, I'll attempt it. Once again, Lugnasach is how I would pronounce it. Lugnasach. Maybe I'll ask Google to speak it out loud for me later. Prosperity. Let's focus on prosperity. You harvest. This is what we've been talking about, right? You harvesting. You reap what you sow. So what are you sowing? What harvest are you going to be harvesting later? What seeds are you planting? Let's make sure they're not GMO, which means they're not tainted and they're not real seeds that produce the seeds that can get fertile later, which means infertile plants, infertile seeds that you are taking and planting. In other words, making sure that whatever you're planting is yours, the true, authentic you, and not some Joe Schmo that doesn't not know who you are. They might think they do, but they don't. Even if you live with those people, does not mean that they truly know who you truly, authentically are. You might understand, but not entirely. So that's up to you. Prosperity. Okay. Let me pull this up. There we go. There's that fancy word that I shall not repeat. You can repeat it for me. Like I said, you can send me a message and tell me how to pronounce it or how you thinking you would pronounce this word. I'm just going to call it prosperity card. Okay. And then when this word comes up, I'm going to attempt to pronounce it again. So, sunny days are here at last. Time to feast. No need to fast. Celebrate, sing, dance, and leap. Harvests in, 'tis yours to reap. This magic is worked with harm to none. So motive B, there it is done. Perfect alignment. Work on yourself, heal yourself. You don't need to be telling everyone everything and everything that you're dealing with, everything you're going through. Focus on sharing it with just one person. Hopefully it's going to be a coach, a mentor, therapist, psychiatrist, an expert that is invested in your growth and evolution. So you're going to be sharing it with that person and not with everyone and anyone. Then you're going to go within, you're going to identify those seeds, and then you're going to plant those seeds so then you can harvest them. And the cycle will repeat. Okay, repeat, repeat, repeat. There's that word. Lukanasa, now I'm pronouncing it in a different way. That word brings great tidings of prosperity. Your planted seeds have grown into an abundant crop, and now the harvest has been reaped. That's the future. A time of opportunity and good fortune is upon you. Everything is going your way. The venture you put your heart and soul into, in whatever form, is ready to flourish. You've been watering it, you've been taking care of it, now it's yours. Your dreams have been answered, and your spells for good fortune are ripe for the picking. Right? Your past, and then your present, and now your future. Success is yours, and like a true alchemist, everything you touch right now turns to gold. And my candle is sizzling, so I think that's definitely going to be true for all of us. So don't let a single opportunity pass you by. For you are supported as you walk your rightful path. But also don't get distracted by all these opportunities that are not meant to be for you. As you've done the work, you will come to a place where you can very easily identify what's for you and what's not for you, and not get distracted by shiny objects. This is what you've been waiting to hear. So enjoy every moment, and remember to appreciate and bless everything that comes your way. Be grateful and feel the gratitude and love and appreciate it. Your days of famine are no more. It's time to reap the rewards and feast upon the good you have created as Lagnasach shines upon you, as prosperity shines upon you, which is foresight. What you have wished for will flourish into fruition. You are rewarded for your hard work. Don't give up, for success is just around the corner. Your positive attitude and gratitude leads to good fortune. Prosperous circumstances surround you. You reap what you sow. Again, go through those seeds that you're about to plant or you have planted, and eliminate those that don't align with you, that don't feel good, and water those that do, and focus on those that do, and work through the ones that don't, because you get to learn more of who you are and uncover the seeds that are meant to be for you. I'm not going to pronounce the word. I'm just going to call it prosperity revealed. Our ancestors implemented the cycle of crops and understood how they reflected the human cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. This harvest marks the gathering in of the grains and celebrates the sun god, Lok, who is cut down to his glory, only to rise again next year. This is a time for feasting, time of plenty, and for acknowledging the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. In other words, what you plant has the beginning, the middle, and the end. And once again, it has the beginning, the middle, and the end, which I would say is kind of, this is what comes to mind, is when you cast a spell, gold dream. And part of casting that spell is getting very clear on how you're going to get there. You get there, you have that dream, you're living that dream, you love it. You're going to feel very content. You're going to go back to some of these old ways where you feel like something is missing, you're not as happy, you're not as joyful, because you got comfortable now in this new way of being and living. And you're going to harvest, right? You're going to harvest what you reap, what you have been planting, what your goals, your dreams were. You take the actions and steps to reaching them. You're going to harvest it. So after you harvest it, this is when you start to feel this not enough, not good enough. There's going to be more opportunities for you available. You go back to the drawing board. You identify what's going to be the next step, because now that you reached it, now you got to where you wanted to get to, more and more and more. This is what we're meant to be doing. And then you're going to go back to doing the work, and then you're going to go back to reaping the rewards, and then you're going to go back to uncovering more and more and more. You're going to cast the spells, you're going to get very clear, and then you're going to go back to doing the work and doing the work and doing the work and understanding and learning, and then you're going to reap the rewards. And this is a cycle of life. That's what the beauty is as well. So that's all I want to share with you. Other than that, I am now hungry. I'm going to go and have my lunch. Have an amazing the rest of your day. Thank you all for being on here with me live. Thank you for all of you who will be watching on the replay. I responded to all the comments now. I'm just going to go through all of them and heart them at a later point. Later is later, minute or a week later. It's going to be later. So have an amazing the rest of your day. As always, I love to hear what is your biggest takeaway. There was a lot that has been said and done today. What is your biggest takeaway from today? And most importantly, what action are you going to take? So if you didn't listen to the beginning, I highly encourage you to listen to the beginning, because there was a lot of gold and wisdom shared that will help you to understand and connect what was said in the beginning, and connected with every part of this card reading with all the 3 cards. Otherwise, I will be seeing you all next week for another one of these amazing card readings on Mondays at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time, where I go live with similar or the same deck, but often the cards that I pull are very different. Even if it's the same card, the reading becomes very different, because different things come through for me, for you. And until we see each other next time, have an amazing rest of your day. Or maybe we'll see each other tomorrow in Sacred Circle. Bye, ladies.